It's Tuesday, April 8th, 2008. This is Variant Edition. Welcome to Variant Edition, your source for comic book news and culture. I'm Mike, and by now you guys should know the drill. Variant Edition is the first weekly video podcast about comics and comic culture. We've been at it for over 2 years, bringing you the best in comics and comic-related news. Lately, we've been doing a Tuesday episode, which we've been keeping consistently on schedule. Then, trying to get out a full-length show later in the week. This week, we're trying something a little different. So stay with me here. We're putting some of the Tuesday stuff, the new comic rundown and advanced reviews, in with the regular episode type stuff, like comic and statue reviews, a mini scroll discussion, and a reader mail segment. So today, this is a special hybrid test episode. So sit back and get ready for a quick dose of comic knowledge and some reviews of the best comics and statues that will prepare you to step in your comic shop this week. And remember, he loves you.
Hi, I'm Lewis, and here's a look at what comics you can expect to find in shops this week. After the rundown, I'll be back with our pick of the week. So that's a look at what's out this week. Our pick of the week, Criminal Volume 2, Number 2. I mean, what can we say? We're huge Ed Brubaker fans, and the relaunch of Criminal has not disappointed. This is crime noir at its best. Brubaker and artist Sean Phillips continue to bring us a look into the underbelly of society. This week doesn't seem to be a big release week, but if you're not already reading this, do yourself a favor and take a peek at Criminal. Its dark and dirty world may just surprise you.
Hi, I got to look at our first looks this week. First up is Wolverine number 64. Continuing the story of Wolverine and Mystique working together at one point in the past, a couple times actually in the past, and now Wolverine is hunting her down. It's a really good Wolverine story. Jason Aaron is sort of new to Marvel. He won a contest a while back, and then he got his real start at Vertigo doing a couple different books. His Wolverine stuff is, I don't know, the problem I always have with Wolverine is sometimes the writer, you know, he's writing Wolverine and it's like, I'm the best there is, and bub, and all that kind of stuff, and it just gets a little cliched. This Wolverine is just, I don't know, he's badass, and he's doing whatever it takes to get the job done, but at the same time, he has a line that he won't cross. So he has that sort of like Ronin attitude, where he's a masterless samurai, you know. He'll do bad things if he has to, but he'll never cross certain lines. And he'll do anything to Mystique, but not necessarily to the people around her. And there's a really crazy scene in here where you see to what extreme he tests his healing factor to actually get at Mystique without having to hurt anybody. And I know they've been doing a lot of crazy things with Wolverine's powers lately and kind of like, you know, very extreme. And this is definitely one of those. And Ron Garney, wow, his stuff has never been so good. I thought his stuff on Spider-Man was great. This run on Wolverine just continues. If you've liked it so far, it's awesome. If you're just catching on now, jump in. There's enough that you can jump in now. It's great. The second book I'm looking at is Fantastic Four number 556. Again, it's a couple issues into this new storyline by Mark Miller and Brian Hitch. I kind of liked the first issue, didn't like the second issue so much. The whole rebuilding the planet Earth, and the scale of that just doesn't seem very plausible to me. I know it's a Fantastic Four and it's supposed to be all these crazy things, but at the same time, there's still some limits to how much I can suspend my disbelief. But here, it's not so much the scale as there's something very bad that has escaped from this planet that they're building, and it's doing very bad things. And consider this a setup issue. This is really just to show how bad the problem is, and in the end, who are you going to call to fix your worst problems that ever come up? It's not the Ghostbusters, but who else but Mr. Fantastic? And this is just definitely an issue to kind of like push forward to show exactly how cool he is and why the Fantastic Four are so fantastic. Again, if you're liking where this is going, it's Mark Miller, so he definitely has his own way of telling big stories. So this is one where I'm kind of middle of the road still. It's a building part of the story, and it feels that way. But I know there's going to be a good payoff. So those are the first looks we have this week. I know sometimes we have a couple of more, but we only had a small selection to pick from this week. So check them out.
All right, guys, here's your first review of the week right here. Action Comics issue 863, Superman and the Legion of Superheroes, the conclusion of the storyline, which has been really great so far because it's got a little bit of retconning in there, and it's kind of like bringing back the original history of Superman where he met the Legion of Superheroes when he was a kid, and bringing that back before pre-crisis. But we don't want to get into that. Let's just say this is a really great story. Pick it up. So here we have Superman duking it out against Earthboy, who's apparently stolen all the powers from every single Legion superhero. Not a very original idea, but a good one. Tactical. And they're just duking it out. There's a red sun. Superman's obviously powerless. All he's got that's defending him barely is just the Legion flight ring. And he's just getting his butt handed to him. Meanwhile, the Legion is back on Earth trying to break the machine that's making the sun red. That's being powered by, I believe, Solar Boy. Too many crazy names. Solar Boy. And so they break that. The sun turns yellow, blah, blah. Superman gets his powers back. And the great thing about this story arc was it's very movie-esque. It's like, this is like watching what could have been Superman Returns, but way better. Like the way Gary Frank drew on the panels when he gets his power back, he starts levitating, and Jeff Johns' quick little, quips and his prose and what he says, it's like, wow, that's totally Christopher Reeves. This is what a Superman movie should be, written by Jeff Johns. So it's a great book. It was a really great story. Superman defeats, Earthboy. The Legion claims back their territory. They're going to reform. The Substitute Legion, which I kind of like, those kind of zero loser Legion wannabes get their own headquarters now. So I can't wait to see where that goes later on in the DC universe. But all in all, great read, great story. I can't wait to see where Superman goes after this. It's like a big tease after the whole Legion of Three Worlds coming up with Final Crisis. So that looks to be really good. But all in all, great job, Jeff Johns, Gary Frank. Hope to see you on Superman a lot more.
Trials of Shazam number 12. The trials are over! And a Shazam stands before you. Not to ruin the entire story. But it's come down to the final fight here. You've got the evil chick. I'm just going to call her because I blanked on her name right there. But the evil chick is going to convert 1 million human souls to the dark side, like Vader. And at the same time, Freddy goes out and goes, hey, Justice League, I need your help. And Batman's all like, we need more intel. Superman's like, let's just get it done. He's like, but are you sure there's magic? He's like, it's all right. I can deal with dying. But yeah, Freddy decides to almost sacrifice himself while throwing, the evil chick into a big glowing hole. And he's like, well, both go in and we can't come out. And there's nothing we can do about it. And then the whole war will be over. Better both of us be dead than one of us be alive with evil powers. Namely you, because I think I'm going to get my ass handed to me in this fight. But Zeus appears, because it's his little buddy the entire time, little Zareb, who's just been like, come on, guys, show you the ways of the magic. It'd be great. Look at my stick. Zap. That's basically what he did the whole time. And he's Zeus? Almighty God? God amongst gods of the magic realm? And he grants him the power, and Freddy becomes the new Shazam and kicks her ass and then saves the day, and he's the new Shazam. Fantastic. And he did it because he died. But he came back.
Not sure how many of you out there are reading this, but I'm having a blast reading it. It's called Dead of Night, put out by Max. It's like the more adult, mature comics by Marvel. Whatever. This is issue 2. It's got Man-Thing in it. So those of you who are Marvel fans who enjoy the old school horror comics and like, there's not enough Man-Thing. Dead of Night. It's all about Man-Thing. Issue 1 is like an origin of Man-Thing, and issue 2 is a continuation of Man-Thing, which is great because it's got Man-Thing. It's got some dudes who rape and kill hookers. and a hooker, well, not a hooker, but a stripper who can make herself look like a demon. So when you're trying to rape her, you're like, oh shit, I ain't touching that. Which is really kind of cool because it busts your ass out of a tight situation. Haha, nice. But anyway, one of the things I loved about this, it brings into it's the human character of Man-Thing. Because the stripper demon chick has a younger brother who's apparently seen Man-Thing in the swamps by his school. What school has swamps by it? I don't know. I didn't go there. But anyway, and he goes on about like, oh, he's a monster, but he sits in the swamps. He doesn't do anything. So it's like, okay, he's got that softer, gentler side. And at the end, when the chick, beats up the potential rapist murderers, she confronts Man-Thing, who's kind of chilling out, was trying to help her, and he kind of feels like a kindred spirit thing going on there. Like, she's misunderstood, kind of a monster. So am I. I'm a Man-Thing. So it kind of goes on from there, which is cool. 2, not as good as 1, because 1 was like the whole mad scientist, crazy crap, government experiment gone terribly wrong in the voodoo swamps. Great stuff. But 2, good continuation, gotta love Man-Thing, can't wait to read more, and Digger, the narrator of this comic, it's kind of like the Crypt Keeper, and he does not lay off the puns, which is great. So if you're into that, definitely check it out.
All right, I'm going to look at something a little different. It's actually not a comic. It's actually a magazine about comics. Comic Foundry number 2. Now, if you remember last year, I did a review on the very first issue of Comic Foundry. It was black and white. It was an attempt at something different. It was sort of like the anti-wizard, kind of like attitude, but for comics. And pretty much just comics, not like pandering to the audience and all that kind of stuff. And my verdict then was, it's good, could be better. It's definitely a first attempt, and it has a lot of potential. So the second issue has come out, a couple things have changed. 1, it's in color, and that was like one of the biggest gripes that everybody had with the first issue of this. But again, it's hard to get a magazine self-financed and off the ground. So, we're willing to kind of like, oh, okay, you did want a black and white, you proved yourself, now you're in color, and you really showed how much you've improved your game. So color has been the biggest addition to this magazine. Slight redesign, to go with the color. It looks very clean. And like I said last time, it looks like a real magazine. Now, this isn't really a dig at comic book magazines, but I mean, any niche magazine kind of resembles the niche that it's in. And Comic Foundry is trying to go for a lifestyle brand kind of magazine. It's no coincidence that Tim Leung, the creator, editor-in-chief, design director, everything of, well, he's not a one-man show, don't take that wrong, but Tim Leung works in professional magazines, and it definitely shows here. Much like the first issue, it looks slick. It looks like a magazine that I could find on the shelves. And that's the one thing, I'll be shocked if by the end of the year this magazine doesn't get mainstream newsstand shelf racking, because it looks like a real magazine. This could be Spin Magazine. That's, I kind of look at this magazine, that's the kind of feeling I get. They've got a broad coverage of music. This has got a broad coverage of comics. It's got some highbrow stuff. It's got the stuff that everybody likes. And then it's got that little like indie nuggets that, the really smart people consider themselves, oh, I know what's going on and this is going to be the next big thing. Well, pretty much Comic Foundry has the same kind of deal. And again, that's all to its credit. It's really nice. It's really refreshing to see something different. I like the little dig on the cover about the #1 men's and women's pop culture magazine. And if you've seen the other men's pop culture magazine, you'll know what I'm saying. But once again, to Tim and everybody else on Comic Foundry, big improvement over the first issue, which was by itself a big improvement over mainstream comics reporting. The only gripe I have with this, and again, this might just be a growing pains kind of thing, the magazine comes out quarterly, and it just didn't feel like a quarterly. If I'm only going to get this 4 times a year, I want a big chunk of something to read. It's going to take me a little while. I can sit it down, come back a couple of times. This felt, it could have been a little longer, I guess is what I'm saying. And I guess that's kind of also a good thing. I liked what I was reading. I liked the style. I liked the look. I just wish there was a little more to it. So I'm not really going into much of the content here because it was good. Everything seemed to be, well written. They were finding their voice. Everything was very interesting. It's stuff I wanted to read, and it's not the same stuff I'm seeing covered everywhere else. So again, a lot of pros, just the one or two cons. Hopefully the next issue will be a little bit beefier because, again, it is a quarterly. But, again, kudos to the Comic Foundry team, and can't wait until, I think it's June, he said, that the next one's going to be coming out.
Okay, so this is usually the part in the show where me and Lewis talk about previews and what we think about them. Usually you do one, and we do one together.
Yeah, our
and
first
then I
looks,
do one.
kind of like
our first looks, yeah, a little preview. But something big happened last week, and we didn't cover it because Kevin was sick. So
bird flu, something like that.
We've decided that you've had a week to read it, and if you haven't read it by now, I don't know what your problem is.
Go yourself.
And of course,
basically.
Yeah, really. This is the one big thing that happened. Lewis, what is that big thing that happened?
An invasion?
An invasion of the secret variety?
A very secret invasion of little green people with funny chins.
Although, now that we all know about it, it's not really very secret. But that's besides the point.
Yes.
Fact of the matter is that things have gone horribly wrong in the Marvel Universe.
Yes, some major power players, major power points, safe houses were taken out all in a span of however long it takes you to read an issue. So 5 minutes, 5 seconds. I don't know. But big natural disasters for the heroes.
See, I paced myself, so this took 3 days for me.
Yeah. It took me like...
No, it really took me like 5 minutes. Sword is gone. Sword, for those of you who don't know, is a big defensive satellite dish that kind of works hand in hand with Shield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like Space Shield.
Yeah, kind of. And Shield, helicarrier, gone. It's done. And Iron Man's Tony Stark Enterprises, it's done too, including his suits.
Kind of seasoning out right now.
Iron Man is no longer Iron Man, but a man with a broken heart. Literally.
Again.
Oh, Tony Stark.
Oh, boy.
And then to top off matters, the whole issue starts with a Skrull ship that is crashing into the Savage Lands. And what's on that Skrull ship?
A very, very confusing / delightful / what the moment for everyone. We have the heroes from the 70s versus the Marvel heroes from now.
And of course, everyone is saying the same thing. When I opened up that page, I was just like, holy shit. This is basically the only thing you could... Well, there's a lot of other expletives that I rambled off in the amount of about 30 minutes. Mostly to my girlfriend, who had no idea what I was talking about. But I was like, yo, you gotta listen to me for like 30 minutes. Because this is amazing and you don't know anything about it, but I need to talk to somebody about it and I can't get Nick on the phone. Or Lewis. So I rambled her about 30 minutes. She's like, what? And I was like, there's a Spider-Man from the 70s against the Spider-Man from the now. And Luke Cage from now. Shirtless. Well, not shirtless, but black shirt. Yeah. Cool. And Luke Cage from then with tiara and open shirt.
Silk. Versace silk. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, craziness has hit the fan here.
Yeah. Meanwhile, while all this is going on, the Fantastic Four, the Baxter Building has been infiltrated.
And the negative zone has been turned on.
Sucking the whole building inside out, basically. What else we got?
People in space dying because they've only got 10 minutes worth of air left.
Basically, they're like little bubbles. Little
Skrull Armada.
Bubbles. A Skrull Armada heading towards Earth. A certain butler for a certain famous super team being Skrully. And someone with a red costume claiming to be a Spider-Woman acting way too cool while all this is happening. Don't dig
confusing.
That. A little confusing.
Confusing, intriguing,
and disturbing.
Disturbing. Very, very disturbing. But we can't wait to see where they're going with this.
No.
And of course, in the back, did you read the back? The Cup of Joe in the back?
Yes, I read the little skim through of
where he's all like, oh, you gotta go back and read this. And guess what? This has been going on since Secret Wars. And actually, it's been going on before that. We've set up this whole big thing.
Yeah.
Or should we say Bendis has been setting up this whole big thing and not telling anybody about it.
Yeah. He just told the penciler, like, when they started that issue. It's like, by the way, draw this. And he's like, what?
Yeah, why is it important that Spider-Man is drinking a blue Slurpee instead of a red Slurpee? And it's like, because he's a Skrull. Yeah. And Skrulls like blue Slurpees, not red ones.
Yeah, that whole raspberry
flavor. It was just craziness. But yeah, so Secret Invasion, it's nuts, it's crazy, it's great. We can't wait to see where it's going. We've been waiting this long for it to occur.
Yeah.
And
we're going to have to wait another 7 months for it to finish, but still, it'll be a great 7 months.
I mean, you do have another movie coming out this year. I mean, do you really need to be working as security here, too?
It's not so bad.
I just don't get it. I mean...
Can I help you?
Yeah, can I get a large? Can I get a medium? Can I get a small? How about a hot dog? Do you sell half hot dogs? How much for the kid sizes? Do you have free samples? Hey, can you spot me a 50? What if some popcorn just happened to fall into my hand? You know what? You go ahead. I'm still thinking. What'll it be?
6 of everything, please. Fringe benefits.
The New York Comic Con, April 18th through 20th. Come for the show, stay for the food. Actually, just come for the show. All right, let's keep this line moving, folks. Come on, let's go. We're walking, we're walking, we're walking. Only for 3 days. Buy your tickets now. Only 3 days. It's only 3 days.
Alright, that's it for this episode of Variant Edition.
See, we heard everyone telling us they miss our half-hour variant editions, and we're still going to be working on getting them out weekly.
And another thing we've been promising forever, a reader mail segment.
That's right. Now, for the last 2 months, we've been getting tons of reader mail and comments, so for this week, we're going to limit it pretty much to just the Fallout Boy hate mail.
Or should we say, the lack of hate mail therein.
And speaking of lack of hate mail, an example of a lack of hate mail for Fallout Boy. Rick from Bolton, UK, writes, I hate Fallout Boy also. I now consider you my brother. That last part, I read it and it kind of came out creepy, but the first sentence really says it all. I hate Fallout Boy also. Mike, you got a
I've got a couple here where people just seem to love you. They don't disagree with you at all. I got God of Plague here saying, Fallout Boy, ha ha ha, great stuff. Red Lights 76 is Nick Rocks. Tenchi 408 says Fallout Boy sucks. Richie Crypt says Nick Rocks, Fallout Boy don't. Enough said.
That's right. Oh, I got one here from. He didn't sign it. But anyway, he goes on to say, Hey Nick, first of all, let me say, I hate Fallout Boy. As well, probably as much as you. That's a lot of hate there. Their songs don't make any goddamn sense. Maybe this is from Frank Miller. They're terribly dressed, they can't even sing, and what they're trying to make their own comics, that's pretty lame in my book. Anyway, thanks for your time reading this. You rock. They suck. Oh, by Matt K. So it's not Frank Miller, it's Matt K. But can't agree with you more, Matt. Can't agree with you more. Mike, you got
I got a Matt Cause 4 here. It says Variant Edition versus Fallout Boy. Go Variant Edition.
That's right.
So
that's right.
We're better than Fallout Boy.
That's right. What else do I have
we
here?
We just had the money.
Oh, wait. This one's actually pretty good. This is from a listener named Danielle. See, for some of you naysayers out there, girls do watch this show. All right. I hate your show. I think it's horribly ill-informed, and at times even racist. I don't see. You're all just a bunch of fascist hoods with weird shirts. Oh, what the hell am I saying? I love your show! I just started watching it around 10 months ago. And I have a question and I don't know where to send it, so I hope you don't mind I use this section of your fan mail. And apparently Danielle and her friends have a podcast that covers anime and manga. She goes into what types of cameras we use. We don't really know.
Yeah,
it's fancy, it's like expensive, but I'm pretty sure Kevin will get back to you if he hasn't already. And hell, even if we had a viewer mail segment of people who want to get into doing their own podcast, send that to Variant Edition. We can answer your questions there too. But nice way of humor, making us think you hate us, but then you love us.
Yeah, that was funny. But for the tech aspects, I can say that we actually traveled to the future and grabbed a Sony 95,000, which isn't even on the market for another 5 years. So tough luck on getting that camera.
Yeah.
Too much? Yeah, too much.
I think a bit.
Okay,
what
but Fallout Boy, worst band ever, Maggot Ollie. Okay, that's good.
That's good. Oh, Nick, I completely agree with your view on Fallout Boy from Shuffly. Nice. Okay. Here's a great one, and I think this stands very true. This is from, what is this? Simon's Comic Review. My girlfriend likes Fallout Boy. I don't know why women dig crappy music. By the way, I agree Fallout Boy wearing Iron Maiden equals beheading of Fallout Boy. Now there's two strong points you make there. The beheading of Fallout Boy, wholeheartedly agree. And the chicks liking crappy music. I posted this on a YouTube post. I don't want anybody to, take this out of context, but if you think about it, if it, girls, women, they make crappy music popular. Who do you think made boy bands popular? Not guys. It was girls. Who makes emo bands popular? girls and guys wanting to be girls. Essentially the same thing. That's just kind of how it goes. Britney Spears, Hannah Montana, all that stuff. So maybe in a few years from now, we may see Fall Out Boy with a shaved head attacking cars with umbrellas. That I would like to see.
So not only have you attacked Fall Out Boy now, but now you're attacking the emo people as well.
Well,
because emo sucks?
Doesn't that go without saying? Oh, wait. I'm just giving them fuel for their emo fire. Cut yourself twice for me.
They can just sit in their closet and think of better ways to kill their
What
parents.
else do we have?
Great video, guys. I get the feeling that Nick's shaping up to be the show's presenter who loses his shit and does violent, enraged, and passionate rants every once in a while. I can just picture him raving wildly against Fall Out Boy's comic, stomping a stack of the band's CDs while foaming at the mouth. That would be awesome. Smiley face with a wink.
I think there'd be some garbage can throwing in
Tez
that.
Quits,
I think that'd be some garbage can throwing would definitely be in there. Now here's another one by C Dog 187. That's dog spelt with a W. It's Nick is probably gonna get massive hate mail from 13-year-old boys who look like girls. Ha 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 ha. Couldn't agree with you more. They look like girls. And apparently some people got the joke I made about Fall Out Boy comics being sold at Radio Shack. If you've seen that commercial, that's the epitome of everything you should hate about that band. If you haven't, find it, but I'm glad some people have seen that commercial and can say, haha, I get you, because they sell out. They just sell out. That's the Frank Miller one. You got any, Yeah. Oh! Here's some guy who is writing me. Now, there's a lot of expletives in here, and it's kind of, like, nonsensical. But he goes on about, like, how could you say that Fall Out Boy sucks? You know, who would Batman be without Robin, or Green Arrow without Speedy? And then he realizes that, oh, you meant Fall Out Boy the band, not Fall Out Boy the Simpsons character, sidekick to Radioactive Man. And then he goes on about,
Them.
They blow dead bears, haha, just kidding, I saw its leg moving, keep up the good work on the show. Two interesting points. I'm pretty sure Fall Out Boy does blow dead bears, or live ones apparently. But another thing I gotta say what you will about The Simpsons, because that show's amazing despite the recent years. Say what you will about the movie, which was a letdown, but I am all about Matt Groening right now, for the sole fact that he's making a stink about Fall Out Boy being in comics, because he doesn't want the conflict of Fall Out Boy in Simpsons comics with Fall Out Boy crappy comics, which just goes to show, this is what you get when you can't think of an original band name, and you have to take it from one of the longest-running television shows in history with some guy who's going to sue your ass. Way to go! Way to go! You should have called.
That is like a legal thing.
Oh yeah,
right?
no, that's going on right now because there's Fall Out Boy in comics, and then there's Fall Out Boy Want to Be comics, which will hopefully not see the light of day thanks to you, Matt Groening, and looking forward to those new Futurama episodes.
Hell yeah.
That's pretty much it for that's the gist of the Fall Out Boy.
For the most part, everybody agreed with Nick. Nobody liked the Fall Out Boy comic, and it's not that let's go. Okay, when we did this,
your defense was for Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, that was my only thing, and I was like, look, all right, another band did make a comic, and it wasn't that horrible.
But here's my thing to that. I have nothing about that, and I actually want to read the Umbrella Academy because I've heard good things from you and several other people. But the thing is, okay, our lead singer, was it their lead singer? Right? Probably. Yeah, sure. Decides, hey, I'm going to write a comic about these kids who are superheroes and they have this organization. This is like, no, Fall Out Boy has nothing to do with this. It's these guys like, we're going to take your image and give you like the misadventures of this band. What do they do when they're not sucking on stage? They're sucking at home. They're sucking with friends and family.
They're sucking dead bears.
They're sucking at life. And I don't want to read the misadventures of Fall Out Boy. My Chemical Romance, on the other hand, that guy apparently has talent. He can write music and comics. Wow, that's like a big thing.
Yeah. My only thing was, like, I wasn't trying to defend Fall Out Boy. I was just trying to say, let's see the comic, and then we'll trash it on the show.
But it's a comic about Fall Out Boy.
Okay, well...
And Fall Out Boy is all about the suck, so I'm pretty sure that
we've
comic
got the Fall Out Boy stuff out of the way, and next week we'll read some of the mail from our international viewers.
That's right. And we've also got a special announcement.
Ooh, special.
That's right.
Just in case you missed the ad earlier in the episode.
Yeah, that's right. The New York Comic Con is coming. It's practically here. Head on over to the Jacob Javits Center April 18th to the 20th and experience the largest pop culture event to take place on the East Coast. What does that say about you, West Coast? An enormous show floor plays host to the top entertainment industry leaders showcasing the latest and greatest in comics, graphic novels, anime, manga, video games, toys, movies, television, and maybe some more.
The New York Comic Con is gearing up to be a pretty impressive show. Con organizers have already announced that Grant Morrison, Mike Mignola, Alex Ross, Brian Hitch will be some of the guests of honor at this year's show. Stan Lee will be receiving the first ever New York Comic Legend Award at a special ceremony, and we've been told that we can expect to see special previews of both the Hulk and the Spirit movies.
I am definitely looking forward to the sneak peeks of that Spirit movie. I saw some of those pics of Sam Jackson, his awesome pimp get-ups. Ooh. Good stuff. But if that is not enough for you, they've also announced some other guests, including Joe Kubert, Joe Simon, John Romita Sr., Gail Simone, Selma Blair, Chris Carter, Guillermo del Toro, Frank Miller, Doc Hammer and Jackson Public, Neil Adams, Kyle Baker, and a lot more than we can list.
Check out check out nycomiccon.com for a full list of all the guests that are scheduled to appear. And if you don't know already, we're going to be set up at the show in the podcast arena. So if you want to thank the New York Comic Con for sponsoring, we'd like to thank New York Comic Con for sponsoring Variant Edition.
Yeah, so if you're going to be at the con, stop by our table in the podcast arena, or if you see us on the show floor, don't be shy, stop by and say hi. It was a little...
Yeah, I gathered that. For all the details and the latest con news, check out nycomiccon.com for more details.
Now, I just want to say, if you happen to hear that catchy little poem I just had before in a Fall Out Boy song, you know where they got it from! You know.
Speaking of the con, we've got our first look back to last year's con finally coming this weekend.
Yep, Kevin got hammered by the flu last week, so expect our never-before-seen Day 2 of the New York Comic Con way back in 2007 later this week.
But before then, check out our Variant Edition, The Discussion. Last week, we took a look at the New Frontier DVD that came out a few weeks ago.
Yep, and just where can you find all this Variant Edition goodness?
I don't know, where?
Why, just check out variantedition.com.
Oh, that's right. We've got the links to all the places online where you can watch us, including iTunes, YouTube, Veo, and our cool high-res feed from Blip TV, or the broadcast quality from Views.
That is some good quality. But it's time to wrap it up. But before we go, we'd like to thank Classic Comics, our host for this and just about every episode.
Classic Comics in Rahway, New Jersey is your friendly neighborhood comic shop.
Yep, so check out ClassicComics.com for more information about the shop, including how you can save up to 20% on your comics every week.
Okay, that's everything. We'll see you later in the week.
Nice. Wait, now start counting that. I want to see how much we got.
It's like 20.
So we're getting this like every week just for saying that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Fucking nice.